I wanted to hear what y'all think about this.
There are two things that happen, and I think that they are all too similar. We have Tim Sweeney of Epic Games that stepped forth and he's criticizing Steam for their use of ID tags, saying that it doesn't make sense for a game store to label games that are using generative AI. It doesn't make sense for customers to have full context of their purchases before they actually make a purchase. I can't imagine why you guys are having so many troubles beating Steam. Maybe you should probably just get a couple more journalists to try to write an article about how it's a monopoly.
What is... Okay, so... I don't remember who Tim Sweeney is. I'm not that privy to every fucking head of whatever company. But if people are that against AI in games, which again is a completely logical and fair stance, especially from an artistic standpoint, I don't believe in the same stance for like ARC Raiders, because ARC Raiders, the issue is that they took the voice actors' voices and they modulated them so that way you can change your voice to them in game. There's nothing, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because one, the actors got paid for all of the work. Hopefully they were paid well. I haven't heard any complaints about that, so I think they were paid pretty well. But that's not like replacing, that's not AI creating art. That's just AI doing modified voice work for multiplayer games. That's a very specific scenario. I don't believe that anything should be in particular black or white in terms of like argumentation's sake. There has to be nuance in all of this. And I don't think what ARC Raiders did is wrong. And there's people that are saying that it is wrong, and it's like, why? Oh, because it's AI. Okay, if you don't like AI, then you shouldn't play any video games ever. What do you think runs any enemy bot? It's AI. AI is a part of video gaming. Now, if it was AI that was used to create an entire artistic art, like the entire world, and it was used to supplant actual human effort to create something, that's a whole different thing entirely. But what this is, what ARC Raiders did, I don't think is something we should be wagging our fingers at. AI is going to be sticking around no matter what we do. As long as we implement it properly into the art of whatever it is, you know, you use it for math, use it to, again, do voice modulation for like a video game or something like that. That's fun, because then you could say you're playing as, if you were playing like Marvel Rivals or whatever, they had a specific voice actor for each character, and you could modulate your voice to sound like those characters in the multiplayer game. And I think that's kind of cool. That's kind of immersive, actually. Is it a crime? Would it be a crime if people did that? No. Now, would it be a crime if it was just AI voices, you know, doing entire bits of dialogue? I think that's where we should draw the line. But people don't want to have any nuance in any of their arguments. They just want to wag their finger and be like, oh, anti-AI bad or AI good. And it's like, you have to like wake the fuck up, break out of this little fucking blockade you have in your brain, and stop thinking things are your way or my way. The world is more nuanced than what you want it to be. Things aren't fucking simple. You need to use your big boy brain, use your big girl brain, use your big they them brain, pull up your fucking britches, and look at reality in the face and say, okay, you're more complicated than I give you credit for, and I need to sit down and properly address it and realize that I'm not right about things, I'm not wrong about some things, and some things I need to kind of come to a compromise over. We're in such a morally gray area, and people like to pretend that they're always morally superior when they're not at all.
Then we have Ubisoft. We haven't heard from these guys in a long time.
But no, you should totally you should have the AI thing on it, but you should be able to specify that AI was used in this for a particular thing, specify what it is, and let the customer decide, because the customer should be fully aware. And if it is such a big thing that you can't address it, and it's going to affect your profit margins, you're a fucking idiot. Just address it. Just mark it. It's not that big of a fucking deal.
You know, it's going to be pretty good. They're going to their local government with a long list of excuses, likely trying to prepare themselves for massive layoffs that'll be coming very soon, I'm sure. Talking about their poor performance and saying that, well, it's not our fault. It's not our games. No, it's just that players just aren't buying new games anymore. It's market conditions that are the problem, even though we've seen multiple breakout successes this entire year.
Okay, so I believe that the economy is affecting people purchasing games. I haven't bought many games just because, you know, money's tight. The dollar's not very powerful. I was in Japan for 8 months, so buying things has been very. I've been very light because I've been. Yeah, everyone knows I was in a very precarious situation in terms of living, in terms of finances, in terms of existing. But I still bought games when I thought that they were worth the dollar that it was printed on. I was not going out and buying every single fucking game though, and I think that's what a lot of people are doing. There's been some successes, yes, but I feel like there's also a lot more failings than there were successes, and word of mouth is so much more powerful nowadays in today's general marketplace. You know, in terms of movies, in terms of video games, in terms of books, in terms of music. Word of mouth is kind of the king because no one trusts these big major companies anymore in terms of what they're producing and what they're creating. It's just a matter of fact because people have talked so much big talk and then their product does not follow through. I've heard nothing but bad things about the new Monster Hunter game. Battlefield 6 is fun. It's fun. I just got immersed with Arc Raiders because I feel like it does multiplayer, I think, a bit more entertainingly. Call of Duty was a colossal fucking flop. It absolutely is ass titties. And I've not really seen anything good that's been coming out, you know?
Any of those successes actually coming from their former employees, new studios and studios without any marketing. But sure, yeah, it's just new games we don't like. Definitely not just yours. You would think that making games is the best job in the world, with one of the easiest customer bases to serve. I realize a lot of people meme on that because they go, oh, you just can't please the gamers. You absolutely can. They're a lot easier than you think we are. And
it's easy, but it's nuanced. We're all very nuanced.
The gaming audience is.
Depends on who you're marketing to.
No problem. I'm telling you what our opinion is. We have absolutely no issue celebrating the games we love and hating on the games we do not.
Mm-hmm.
And there is so much information that we throw out there, so much valuable feedback, but that feedback doesn't mean anything if they aren't willing to listen. And it's like we don't exist. Either it's their ego or they just genuinely think that they know better than us. And
it's because they think they know better than us. If you look at particular companies like Eastern companies, you know, people could shit on Square Enix. A lot of the games that have failed for them recently were games that were curtailed to and trying to market towards Western audiences. But when Final Fantasy came out, all of them that came out, Clair Obscura came out, though that's not really a Square Enix game, but you know what I'm saying. Games that are not just trying to market specifically to a Western audience, they're just marketing to video game players. They are successful and they're well liked. You know, Remake had issues, but I still love that game. And Rebirth was even more fun. I want to go back and play it. I just haven't done it yet. It's been a lot of Western game developers making games that just are missing the mark and aren't targeting gamers.
So we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about an industry that just refuses to listen, one that blames its players for not buying their games, one that thinks that we don't deserve to know how these games are being made, and one that is going to continue to ignore us until they can't. I
feel like this is a thing that even goes towards pro wrestling. I tried the new COD on Game Pass, and WoW Zombies is ass. It does not look interesting at all. Like, the main campaign looks like shit, too. Nothing about it looks like the Call of Duty that I would like to play. I miss the days of old Call of Duty sieging Normandy and stuff, you know? The old Call of Duty, the old Medal of Honor. Battlefield is the only thing, one of those games where I feel like it's, you know, it feels like actual combat. It's fun. It's immersive. Everything blowing up around you. It's like, it's very frustrating to play games and remember what they were like 10 to 15 years ago and how much they've deteriorated even though the graphic quality has increased. It's just further proof that, yes, you can make the graphics look as good as possible, but if the gameplay fucking sucks, I don't care and I'm not interested, man. If the gameplay sucks and the story is ass, fuck off. I would rather do something else.
Commentary is essentially unavoidable at this point. It has never been easier to figure out what players want, what they don't want, and what they absolutely cannot stand. We are a passionate bunch. We love talking about games, and we love making sure that everybody else knows exactly how we feel about them.
Yeah.
You do not have to look far to find a 1,000-word Steam review with a mountain of engagement or tens of thousands of hours of YouTube, Twitch, and
Yeah, that's true.
breaking down every single design choice from every single angle that's possible. This is feedback that none of these companies have to pay for. They don't need focus groups. They don't need surveys. They don't need to do anything. They just got to open up their eyes, open their ears, and engage with the overwhelming amount of information that players are handing them for free.
See, I mean, that is very true, because how many times when the new Dragon Age came out and everyone shit all over it, I don't feel like the developer was actually very open to the reception of what people were saying in terms of the characters just being, caricatures of what people would think, what the game was going to be. We all know what the critiques of what the game were when the trailers came out. We saw all the bits, and it ended up being more like that than we thought. Cringy dialogue, bad characters, the gameplay was ass. The boss fights, from what I saw, were just like repetitive dog shit. But the fans were very vocal about it. And if companies would just shut up and listen to the fan base, this goes the same for people in music. I've seen like various heavy metal bands, like their fans are very vocal about what they didn't like about an album, and then generally what happens is they flip on a dime and they go towards the direction that fans want, because at the end of the day, who pays your profit margins? Who pays for your games? It's not the loud people on social media who want things to be a certain way because of stereotypes and whatnot, or because of things being too revealing or XYZ, whatever complaint you want to fill it with. It's the people that pay for the game and play the game and enjoy the game, that enjoy the music, that enjoy the movie. Those are the people that you should be marketing to. Because at the end of the day, we're the ones playing it. We're the ones that are going to keep playing it. It's not just some fad for us. We've been playing games for 10, 15, 20 years, and we would like to get to the point where we have kids, even though, let's be honest, with the way that money and the economy is, having kids is pretty hard, especially when you're like scrounging for a dime. We would like to introduce the next generation to these things and keep it going, because this has been fun. Games have generally made up a lot of my personality, a lot of other people's personalities, and a lot of people's hobbies. We want to keep that shit going.
I'm telling you guys this right now because I need you to understand why I am so frustrated with this industry. I know it's uncomfortable for them to have to sift through a lot of this.
I'm not going to stop it now, I promise.
The useful from the useless, to read things that might actually end up hurting their feelings, but these companies have everything they need to succeed. Everything! And it just drives me up the wall when I watch them say and do things that offer players nothing.
It just comes to straight up. People don't want accountability for their art not being as good as it could be.
And I think that you can see this pattern.
They would rather be lied to.
Companies that are trying to compete with Steam right now, and
pro wrestlers are like that just as much as musicians are and artists are, actors.
Of money, but nobody wants to actually listen to the players or build what the players are asking for. They all show up with these half measures, these shortcuts, and some inflated belief that players are just going to magically abandon a platform they trust. And that trust part is something that these companies do not take seriously. They ignore it entirely. And I think that nowhere
this game looks interesting.
Clearer than Epic Games. I think that these guys are embarrassing. I realize that some people like them. I like what they've done with Fortnite, but outside of that, I just think that these guys are ridiculous. They have industry experience. They have one of the most played games on the planet. They own and develop the most widely used engine in the entire medium. And with all of that knowledge, that influence, and that money, they still haven't managed to turn their store into anything other than a launcher for Fortnite and a place to grab a free game every couple of weeks. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. None of this makes sense to me. These guys have poured hundreds of millions of dollars into this store, and after 7 years, they don't even come close to touching Steam. They haven't even gotten to the point where they could sniff Steam's boot. But after Tim Sweeney's
emoji reviews, oh Christ,
everything started making sense. A Twitter user had posted, Steam and all digital marketplaces need to drop the made with AI label. It doesn't matter anymore.
It does matter.
The post blew up, over 1 million impressions, barely any likes, a massive pile of comments, most people not having anything very nice to say. But the comment that caught everybody's eye and got the most coverage was Tim Sweeney himself saying that, agreed, the AI tag is relevant to our...
Tim Sweeney looks exactly how you imagine not an egotist, but like a belligerent person to look like. A belligerent nerd who thinks that they don't have to listen to anyone, that they're smarter than someone.
Exhibits for authorship disclosure in digital content licensing marketplaces where buyers need to understand the rights situation. It makes no sense for game stores where
Why?
AI will be involved in nearly all future productions.
If it is actually part of the creation of things in the game, like the actual world, and it wasn't made by someone, then it's a problem.
The latest updates of the Unreal Engine. Therefore, according to Steam's guidelines, any game built with Unreal Engine must declare the use of Gen AI.
Yeah.
Sweeney responded with, and this is absolute gold, "Not true. I just hate to see Valve confiscate ever more opportunity from small developers by facilitating new categories, cancel campaigns, and review bombings. Steam used to just facilitate downloads, then they foreclosed on payments, then price competition, then crypto, now AI." You're not pulling one over on me, brother. Sweeney's out here throwing around this pity party framing like he's some champion of the poor little indie devs, as if Valve's out here crushing their hopes and dreams, and he's the last hero to stand between these small studios. Crypto, AI, and
Valve is the only company that everyone still probably lauds as for the game, for people that play video games, for gamers. Like, I don't know what this dude's fucking smoking, what he's thinking, but nobody's taking him for like. No one's taking his word worth anything more than a pinch of salt, you know?
Probably let
bullshit.
Some of that stuff come through, but it's manipulative, it's self-serving, and frankly, it's embarrassing. So
yeah,
we're
just
go point by point because every single thing that he brings up and complains about exposes exactly why Epic has never gotten anywhere near Steam.
Oh, he runs Epic?
The
Oh,
first
that's
thing
no
that he brought
fucking
up
wonder.
is how Steam
Christ.
foreclosed on payments. He's talking about the Steam wallet and how Valve has their own approved payment processors. Yes, this has caused some censorship issues. We've talked about that on this channel, but it also means that players get one secure wallet. We don't have to re-input our payment information.
No.
Consistent fraud protection, easy refunds, and no sketchy third.
I have my PayPal plugged in there. Fucking, if I want to get a video game like I got Dispatch, it's literally click, click, boom, got it. I don't have to keep putting shit in.
Party site.
And I trust Valve to handle it. I don't trust Xbox. I don't trust PlayStation. And I don't trust fucking Epic. Who actually uses Epic? I used Epic for Apex, and I stopped playing it.
It's a hell of a lot more secure and convenient for the customer, but it comes at the expense of the publisher and the developer. You're going to start to see this trend with Sweeney. He then cries about their price rules. Valve prevents publishers from jacking up their prices on Steam while undercutting them everywhere else. Sweeney hates this because, well, it stops Epic from doing the one strategy that they had, undercut the competition and prey, but for the players, it means that your library doesn't have to be scattered across 5 launchers just to be able to avoid getting ripped off. Epic calls it anti-consumer. Everybody else is going to call it consumer protection.
Yeah, no. Again, that's all that Valve does is protect the consumer. That's all they care about. They don't want to. Valve has never been about burning their consumer. If something does go wrong, they've generally seemed to fix it.
Need to know these games almost always are scams, pump and dump schemes, and projects that are missing half the skeleton of actual gameplay. Valve just said, no thanks, we don't want to have anything to do with that. Epic said, come on in, baby. And when one platform shields their players from dumpster fires and the other one rolls out the red carpet for them, I don't really think I have to tell you which one actually gives a damn about its customers.
Which one's consumer friendly? Oh, I don't know.
The reason for this video, the AI disclosure tag, and honestly, man, Steam just wants clarity. They just want their customers to know what they're buying, and they also want to protect themselves legally. Sweeney is framing this like it's some oppressive overreach, like Valve is leading a witch hunt. No, dude. It's transparency. It's just basic labeling, and the fact
full transparency that some customers might have issues with.
How disconnected you are from what players actually want, because customers do seem to want these tags. Every point that he raises, every issue he fabricates, every accusation he's throwing at Steam, all of it just reinforces the exact same truth that these guys are out here for themselves, not for their players, not for the customers, and that's somebody that we can't trust. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't really like to buy stuff from people that I don't trust.
You can't trust people based off of their word. You can only trust them based on their actions. And no game company has really shown that they care about the customer, their customer first, other than Valve. Valve Steam. They have repetitively gone out of their way to protect and do things for the consumer. No one shit talks Steam. Everyone shit talks fucking Epic. Like, who actually uses Epic for anything other than those base games? They have nothing that's interesting.
Now, I replied to Sweeney and I had said, Tim, this right here is why you will never beat Steam. It makes no sense for game stores, but it does make sense for
customers.
We don't need a cash register. We need transparency and a voice. And that's exactly where I stand. I do not care if a game uses AI. They've used different AI tools for years. What I do care about is players having all of the information that they need before spending money. That's it. Being an informed customer should not be a controversial issue, but apparently it scares the hell out of some of these companies.
And not everyone is going to be. Not everyone looks into things like that, but people that are more educated and more aware of the world and the situations and the whatever political thing, whatever environmental thing, whatever stance that they might have, people deserve the right to know if they are knowledgeable of it. If you are withholding something from them, knowing that it might cause people to not buy something that you are selling, you are actively against the customer. You're actually trying to take advantage of their ignorance, and that means you fucking suck, man.
Which, honestly, guys, that tells you a lot about what's going on right now. They would rather you not know anything at all about any of these purchases, be blind to their practices, blind to their processes, and happy to just swallow down whatever they serve you. And I am not going to pretend.
Suck on the gaming cock.
I also saw some people that were rallying around Sweeney. Mark Kern, formerly of Blizzard, had jumped into the conversation saying that Sweeney is stating the obvious. I responded, that doesn't change the purpose of the disclosure. Only the customer gets to decide what is and isn't useful before making a purchase. This isn't about AI, it's about choice. I am all for destigmatizing AI.
Yeah, that's fair. Perfectly fucking fair.
He then doubled down saying that the tag is uninformative and that
that's the Grums guy. He's a fucking dork.
Be labeled as AI soon. So I clarified one last time saying, you're missing my point. Well,
of course he is. He's a fucking goof. He's a fucking goof that is just belligerent and thinks what he knows is right. He doesn't care about listening to other people's opinions.
Versus Call of Duty. I view this as no different as people wanting to know if a game has consultants involved with its development. Many people would say that's useless, unhelpful information. No need for a distinction. I am for people knowing everything that they want to know before making a purchase.
Yes.
Whether I share their values.
Was it used just to help come up with base ideas and people flesh it out more?
Pro-consumer. Maybe that's what the problem is. I just can't see clearly. But
there is no such thing as radically pro-consumer. That means you're just pro people. You're pro the regular everyman. Which is what people should be if they want people to buy their product. Being against the consumer means you are against the people that are buying the thing that you want to sell. And if you're openly flipping me off and saying, please buy my product, even though, I'm not going to tell you everything about what I'm selling you that you might not agree with, I'm not going to buy it because I don't trust you. You can't be transparent with me. Why should I give you my money?
One thing that I do think that I can see clearly is that these CEOs, especially guys like Tim Sweeney, they do not understand the perspective.
They know they don't understand. People look at them.
They're looking at this situation and they're like, well, why would the customer...
If you open up an encyclopedia, Tim Sweeney is the perfect picture to represent autism.
And furthermore, why do they hate it so much? They just don't get it. And the reason why, and it's pretty simple, the customer just does not see a benefit in it for themselves. People are going to say, oh, it's slop, oh, it's the human cost. No, it's not. It's just that they don't see a benefit in it for themselves. As simple as that.
Yep.
Why are people supposed to get excited about these video game companies? They're going to come out with the exact same games. They're going to charge the same fucking price and make even more money than they ever have before.
Yep.
How does that sound like it benefits me? It doesn't. And I can totally understand where people are coming from. Now, personally, I don't really care if these companies use Gen AI. And I fully know that in the future, this technology is going to be used to make some incredible...
There's no stopping AI at this point. Like, people are going to implement it. It's easier. Do I agree with it? Not really, no. I think that people the power of the human imagination is more powerful than anything AI can do. But AI is going to be a base tool for people to get better creative ideas, I think. I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. But that's what I think.
They have a right to know. You don't get to say otherwise.
No.
And Timmy boy, this idea that for whatever reason that people know if AI is used and that is somehow going to stop that game from selling, that Steam is confiscating success from indie studios. that is the most performative take on Gen AI I've ever heard. Honestly, you deserve an award. The idea that
The
people
dick
wouldn't
sucking
buy-
award,
I mean,
but
most
sure.
people know that cell phones are made sourced with parts through child labor, and they still go and buy those phones. It's the same thing with AI. Nobody cares about any of that stuff. If the product is worth it, if it's a product they need, the people are going to get it. It's just as simple as that. But even still,
If you have
I think to your
value
point,
and you have
if the
trust
people
with the
want to know
consumer,
if
they're
it's
gonna
used,
always buy
they
your
deserve
stuff.
to know if it's used. Simple as that.
I have regular people that regularly buy
And
merchandise just because they
This
like
is the
me and they
exact
trust me.
same reason why
They know it
I'm
might take me
not
some time because I'm just one
tossing
fucking
aside
person trying to ship
people's
stuff out,
concerns
but they go,
over hiring
we know you're gonna get it to
practices
me.
at
It's
some of
fine.
these companies, over the use of
People-
consultancy agents.
Having trust with the consumer means that if you're fully transparent with issues that are going on your end, whether it's in terms of production, human resources, stuff like that, people will give you the benefit of the doubt and they'll give you some leeway and they'll work with you. I was going through a lot of stuff this year and I had sold some merch, but it took me a while to get it out. When I finally got it out, I said I had to apologize. I had to be straight up. I'm sorry I didn't get it out because of X, Y, or Z reason. And I was not lying. I was being just fully transparent because I've always been a fully transparent human being. That's just how I was born. That's how I was raised. That's how I was taught. You know. We have enough liars in the world. Why would I want to hide anything? Why would I want to conceal anything? And when I told people that, they said, "Oh, dude, it's no problem. Like, our best to you. We love you. Thank you for what you do. X, Y, X, Y, and Z. All the pejoratives." But have trust with your consumer. Make money. Obviously, you don't want to look at it as
Or agendas
grotesque
that
as
you
that,
feel that are in some of
but
these games
at the
or
end of the day,
whatever
that's kind of what it leads
people.
up to.
In a lot of
But
cases,
treat people
in
good
most
and they'll treat you
cases,
good
the entire
back.
Industry has told people,
And you'll have their
most
trust
people
with
that
you.
it doesn't matter. Now it's happening again, but it's kind of flipped on the different side. No, that's not how this works. Whether I have the same values of you or not, it doesn't really matter to me, man. Like, everybody deserves to know whatever they want to know about a product that they are purchasing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my perspective on this is. And it's important that these companies come to terms with the idea that customers are emotional people. We do not make rational decisions when we purchase products. We sometimes make emotional purchases. And you need to get behind that. Hiding from it, that's not going to do anything for
Nope.
you. And believing that your opinion or your values are more important, well, that's the fastest way to be able to find failure. I'll
You
tell you
can't
that right now.
you can't force the things that you believe on the consumers because the consumer will reject it. It's just like if a parent, it's just like if a teacher, a boss tries to force you into believing something that they believe and you are kind of ambivalent on it at best or against it completely at worst, you're going to rally against it even more. And when you try to shove something down someone's throats, it's a tale as old as time, whether in terms of music, whether it's in terms of video games, in terms of pro wrestling. People reject it. People reject it. It's a constant cyclical thing. It's the pendulum. It swings back and forth and back and forth.
There's one company that knows that better than anybody else. That's Ubisoft. Those guys have been struggling for a long time. They've been ignoring the values of their players, ignoring the values of just all of their audiences in general, and they have failed to listen to their audiences the same way that these guys are failing to listen to audiences the same. They've spent the last few months now crying to their local government, telling them this long list of excuses, and they're lying to themselves. If you sat down and pretty much asked anybody, even people who don't even follow the industry, why Ubisoft is struggling, why their stock price has cratered 92% in the past 5 years and is inching towards delisting, you'd get the exact same answer every single time. Their games aren't good, and
Nope.
they haven't made anything worth caring about.
There's nothing
That is a
interesting.
universal take. You can't
They
really
do
put
the
it
same
much simpler
recycled
than
shit.
that, but
Every
instead of
Assassin's Creed is the same
players
recycled
are just
shit
not connecting with their games
with
instead of
different
recognizing
flavors
the
on it.
obvious sentiment around their quality. Ubisoft's recent filings with company house Ubisoft UK insist that the problem isn't them at all. No, instead,
It's the
it's
consumer.
actually that players just don't buy as many games anymore. In an article from Insider Gaming titled, Ubisoft says people are playing fewer games, which makes more newer games struggle to stand out. Grant Taylor Hill writes,
You can't say that when it's more obvious, and again, it's like it's lacking the accountability to look at the work that you've done and think, wow, maybe it has completely alienated people from buying our stuff because people know that it's shit. And now, because we've released shit after shit after shit after shit, we have lost complete trust in the consumer, so people aren't buying as much anymore, other than the regular diehards of whatever fucking Assassin's Creed game is coming out. Or a Far Cry game. It's just companies lacking accountability. It is a tale as old as time. Whether it's record labels, whether it's movie studios, music, pro wrestling. It's shirking the responsibility of burning the consumer base and realizing that you burned the trust of these fans. But it's easier just to blame the consumers for not doing what you want them to do, when you should be doing what they want you to do.
In a recent filing with Companies House, Ubisoft's United Kingdom-based arm wrote a lengthy breakdown about the future developments of the firm. This somewhat morbid telling of a tale of gaming suggested that a paradigm shift is occurring, one that is skewing the future of new single games in the wake of subscriptions and live service titles. Wasting no time, Ubisoft's representatives directly said that consumers are playing fewer games, and the ones that they do play, they're playing for longer, which means that the new single releases are struggling to compete and achieve with the sales that they once had.
It's just like, dude, these people are so fucking... You can tell these people do not hang out with, or they don't interact with the regular... with a casual audience member, with a casual person. It's the same with people in terms of the political spectrum, in terms of any kind of artsy endeavor. They think they know what the regular everyday man is thinking and pondering, and what they want to do and what they want to pay for. There's a reason why that those fucking shitty Madden games sell, why the shitty WWE games sell. You know, because I don't want to call the fan bases dumb, but the fan bases are rather simple, and they know that they have gotten the trust of these consumers so well that they can just feed them slop, which is that's not what you want to be in terms of being a creative person, but they're thriving in a gray area that Ubisoft and other companies wish they were able to thrive in. Because Ubisoft is not just curtailing to just pro wrestling fans. Pro wrestling fans will eat a lot of shit and they'll smile happily. You know, Ubisoft was originally a company where it was like for gamers, for gaming centric people. But the more vocal kind, the more nuanced kind, the more tasteful kind. If something sucks, they're going to say it sucks. Like, I played some WWE games. I think some of them suck. Some of them have been okay. Some of them have been kind of fun. But there's always things I think suck about them. Same with the Madden games. The reason why you're struggling to achieve the sales is because you burned the consumer over and over and over. You've released suboptimal games, and now the consumer does not buy them anymore like they would have.
The traditional full game model of selling a €50 or €60 game to a consumer as a one-time purchase continues to become less ubiquitous, with multiplayer subscription services, long-running games as a service titles, free-to-play games, and cloud streaming offerings all providing new and attractive ways for consumers to access gaming content. Consumers are playing fewer games, playing them for longer, and as a result, outside of a few notable exceptions, newer games are struggling to stand out and achieve the sales that they may have once had, while the market is more volatile and the potential for any specific title.
I feel like this is kind of relevant to the pro wrestling scene as well,
that was followed
especially
by
the indie wrestling scene.
Ubisoft Limited would see falling revenue in the coming months. Man, these guys kill me. I actually love Ubisoft. I hope that these guys never
I don't
go out
love
of
any
business,
company.
mostly just because they become some of the best punching bags in the entire industry. But, like, what are you guys talking about? At one point, they bring up how physical sales are slumping and it's somehow hurting their bottom line. Buddy, I'm sure it's not just your physical sales. And then they go on to talk about how people are buying fewer games, so newer releases just can't stand out. I mean, you got half of that right. People are buying fewer games, but that just means that the games that are releasing are just releasing under higher scrutiny. They are getting the attention. I mean, you had no problem standing out, just not for the right reasons.
This game looks nice, by the way. I don't know what it is.
Watch one of your trailers from a decade ago.
Ugh.
The emotion, the character, the artistry, some of the best world and character design in the entire industry. And then fast forward to today, where you guys are turning 2B into 2 Brad, and you got Assassin's Creed, a franchise that used to mean something, that once used to stand as a pillar of AAA design, that is now grinded down to a pseudo live service zombie with some of the laziest art direction, animation, and storytelling that you guys have ever shipped.
The fuck is this?
Can't even respect the crossovers that it's pandering.
What the fuck is this? No, no. Oh my god, they did not cross fucking Attack on Titan with this shit. Oh my, it looks like shit.
And you got a franchise that used to mean something, that once used to stand as a pillar of AAA design, that is now grinded down to pseudo live service. Oh my god, you looked at that and thought, oh, that's good. I'm gonna sell that to people. They'll take my game really fucking seriously. With some of the laziest art direction, animation, and storytelling that you guys have ever shipped.
It looks so bad.
Can't even respect the crossovers that it's pandering to. Struggling to stand out. Everybody saw Assassin's Creed Shadows. Everybody saw Star Wars Outlaws. Everybody knew of Skull and Bones. The problem wasn't visibility. The problem was nobody wanted to buy it.
This is so fucking shit.
You failed to stand out. You just stood out for the worst reasons possible.
Roars?
And then you pivot
no,
to
oh
live
god,
services, the only
please.
thing that's finding success. Dude, what world are you living in? The last 2 years have been nothing but a massacre for live service.
Look at that.
The only real
Look how
successes
good that
we've
looks.
seen have been Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, Battlefield 6, Where Winds Meet, and Arc Raiders. 3 of those games just came out recently. And even those games have been...
The Assassin's Creed game used to be so cool. I used to love Assassin's Creed.
Meanwhile, we've already seen a graveyard of live service games that just died on arrival. I mean, nearly all of the most successful and celebrated games right now are new.
The idea of a Assassin's Creed game in Japan would have tickled my taint in all the right places 15 years ago. No, no, shut up.
No, shut up.
The other friends of family to shut up. Tell your mom to shut up.
No.
Yeah, tell her to shut up.
Shut up too.